I'll be honest, I'm still learning the ropes with this whole dad thing. I've only been in my daughter's life for over a year after finding out about her and taking over since her mom's no longer in the picture. She is a young child about to have a birthday, and we're having a small birthday celebration in my backyard with her classmates this weekend. When school opened again, we started having problems with one kid in particular, Nick. Many parents have been complaining about him because he's a huge problem to the other kids and gets benched, basically a timeout, a lot during recess. I've had talks with the teacher because he made my daughter cry after teasing her constantly about her mom. I was angry. Her teacher promised that they would be handling the situation with Nick and keep him away from my daughter. Supposedly, they've had many talks with the mom, but all she seems to do is baby the kid. He hasn't bothered my daughter since my conversation with the teacher. So, for my daughter's birthday, she decided to invite almost everyone in the class, obviously except for Nick. His mom confronted me after school when I was picking her up. I guess he was crying that he didn't get an invitation. I had my daughter wait in the car and this lady was giving me crap for excluding her son when this could have been a chance for him to finally get along with his classmates. I told her, lady, he had months to do that, or her to teach him to. This is their last week of school. It's a bit late to try to make friends now with how he was treating all the kids, especially my daughter. She just kept saying I should be ashamed of myself for not taking this opportunity to teach my daughter a valuable lesson on learning compassion. It was just a really intense encounter, but in the end I still refused to give an invitation since my daughter said she doesn't want Nick at her party. I'm still thinking about the whole interaction. I've never dealt with a parent like that, and being still new to it all myself, I'm sort of having doubts about how I handled it. Did I do the right thing or wrong? I want my daughter to be comfortable and happy on her birthday, but I get this upset another kid. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She should be ashamed of herself. This would be an excellent opportunity for her to teach her son about the consequences of his actions. Exactly. I get that he's a child, but kids have to learn these fundamental lessons at some point. His mother had the opportunity to create a discussion about how, as we get older, bad behavior results in fewer friends. The fact that she tried to turn it into a learning compassion thing makes it pretty clear that she'll continue to hand-wave away poor behavior, leaving her son potentially socially stunted if he doesn't learn these lessons himself. Not the idiot. I can't believe that the mother whose child would tease a peer about her home life would then lecture that peer's parent about compassion. It sounds like she had ample opportunities to teach her son about compassion and chose not to. Keep this kid away from your daughter. She's an entitled mother raising an entitled brat who's only getting more destructive as he goes unchecked. Why is it that parents of bullies who get excluded for their behavior think that the onus of forgiveness and compassion should be on the victim without any reparations being made by the bully? It really boggles the mind. Not the idiot. Less about teaching your daughter compassion and more about teaching Nick that people don't like hanging out with idiots. Everyone's the idiot here solely because you distributed invitations during recess. You're 100% allowed to exclude one student, but you should not be publicly handing out invites if you're doing so. These are young children who will absolutely feel excluded. The general rule is if you're handing out invites at school, everyone gets one. Most schools have a policy against handing out party invites at school, specifically because things like this happen. Next time, I think it would be beneficial to find another method of getting invites out, either digitally or through the mail. Don't send your kid to school with invitations for every kid except one. And the next day, every kid talks about the great party they had at OP's, and Nick finds out he was the only one not invited in another way. The mother is responsible for teaching her son how to behave properly. Then he might start making friends. And whatever's going on with him, it isn't OP's or his daughter's problem. My husband, 27, and I, female 25, have an infant child. He does everything, almost, except change diapers. He's a hardcore germaphobe, so I handle the dirty part of our son's care. So my husband's been nagging me about the faces I make when changing our son's diapers, telling me to smile all the time. I told him to leave me alone. It's easy for him to say when he's not the one dealing with the smell. But whenever I'm in the middle of changing diapers, my husband would show up out of nowhere, like he busted me or something, and tell me that the faces I keep making have an impact on our son's emotional state, and I should smile. He'd motion with his hand and be like, "Smile." I told him to leave me alone. He knows how difficult this is for me, but does nothing to help. Instead, just mocks me and keeps bugging me. I told him if he ever tries to hassle me again with the "just smile" nonsense, he'll start handling diaper change. Last night at around 9, he was in the kitchen already eating dinner without me and not waiting while I was getting ready to change my son's diaper. He came into the room with his mouth full of food and once again commented on how my face looked, reminded me to smile and show love and stop causing harm to our son's emotional health. I snapped. I walked up to him and told him that he ran out of chances to stop his annoying behavior and he should start handling diaper change from now on, and we'll see how big his smile will be. His tone changed, and he said that we both agreed that I'd be handling diaper change even before our son was born, and that I already knew too well what the reason is. He's a germaphobe, yes, but he's also a parent. What type of parent never changes their baby's diaper? I handed him the stuff and asked him to enjoy while I kept standing to watch how he does it. It took him forever, and as I expected, he made all types of disgusted, grossed out faces. He was finished, and I said he lost the smiling contest with those faces he made. He was angry and rushed to wash his hands, complaining about how I'm trying to get him to do everything and that I ruined his appetite by having him experience that. I replied that he still ain't seen nothing yet and asked, since he wants us to have 4 kids, how he will be handling the other 3. He said he changed his mind and only wants 2. But still, my point stands. He tried to argue that I'm not taking his germophobia seriously, and what I forced him to do wasn't cool. He's been upset since then. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and bravo, honey. He's a parent. He's gonna have to learn to deal. Taunting you, that's extremely immature, insensitive, and arrogant behavior. Your husband is a grown man, and being a germaphobe is something he needs to grow up and get over. And whatever you do, do not have another kid with him if he's not pulling equal weight on both the literal and figurative parts. I don't think you're taking my germophobia seriously, and I don't think you're taking parenting seriously if you genuinely think that's a good idea to mock the person who's doing the dirty work while you refuse to. If his condition is that serious, he can get help. If he doesn't want to do that because it would take away his excuse to do the hard parts, maybe he needs to sit down and think about what it means to be a dad. Seconded. Therapy needs to happen here. It's one thing to be a germaphobe, but it's another thing entirely to refuse care to your child. What, she can never leave the baby with him in case a diaper change is required? She goes out and the baby poops, so he, what, lets the baby sit in poop until she gets home? It's not rational. He has to deal with it. Everyone's the idiot here. You should never have agreed to have a child with a husband unwilling to participate in your child's primary care. He's awful for literally taunting you with nonsense about harming the baby's emotional health. If your husband is so much of a germaphobe, the last thing you should have done is father a child. Buy him a box of latex gloves and have him get to work. I'm female teen, the youngest of 5. My siblings are Tyler, male teenager, Eric, 20, Sophia, 26, and Amber, 30. I got screwed over in the genetic lottery, and basically my heart, lungs, eyes, ears, and stomach are screwed up, and I have dyslexia and anxiety. My parents have always treated me differently, gave me more attention, and were kind of overprotective. Tyler, Eric, and Sophia all hate me for it, and are either mean to me or pretend I don't exist. Amber and I are really close though. Also, everyone except for Amber still lives at home. When my parents were at work and I was in the shower, Eric hid my glasses and hearing aids. I can see and hear without them, but not very well. Sophia and Tyler knew that he took them and where they were, but they wouldn't give them back. I told my parents and Amber what happened, and it's been crazy since then. Tyler is grounded, and my parents took his phone, laptop, and TV. And my parents dropped Eric and Sophia from their phone plan and changed the Wi-Fi password so they can't use that either. Amber was even madder than my parents, and she threatened to call the CPS if they can't get my siblings to stop being like this. She's also been making me stay at her house when my parents aren't home. Tyler, Eric, and Sophia are furious with me, and my parents are mad at Amber for threatening to call CPS. Everyone's mad at everyone, so I wanted to know if I was the idiot. Not the idiot. Eric is a 20-year-old man who hid his little sister's glasses and hearing aids, who has health issues. Eric is a monster. Sophia is a grown 26-year-old woman. The fact that she didn't stop this when she knew it was happening is appalling. Tyler should still know better. He's almost an adult too. They all deserve what they got, and Eric and Sophia should be happy they weren't asked to move out. Not the idiot. The adult siblings should have got an eviction notice, since this clearly isn't the first time they mistreated you. Your parents are idiots because of their favoritism towards you. Your siblings now hate you for it. It's not something OP can help, but this acting out results from your parents neglecting their other kids. Not the idiot. This is in no way your fault, and while this may be an unpopular opinion, I believe your parents failed all of you. Chances are very high that your siblings don't like you, not because of anything you can control, but because of how your parents dealt with your issues. Your family should have been in therapy once you were diagnosed to help your parents meet the emotional needs of all their children, and it was 100% their responsibility. So now your siblings resent you and how much your parents did for you, or the baseball games they missed taking you to the doctor, or whatever the individual slights were. That's on your parents. Your parents, for once, are trying to respond appropriately, but it's a case of too little too late. Your eldest sister has the right idea. It can be hard to speak out against one's family. She's pretty brave. And whatever you do, good luck. Best friend Ashley had a baby. Asked me to visit right away. I live a 4-hour flight away. She's not up for hosting, so I need a hotel. No problem. Day 1. I wake up on the plane with a sore throat. I go to the hotel and call her. We agree I shouldn't be around the baby in case I'm sick. Day 2. Feel better. Call in the morning. Ashley wants me to wait until the afternoon. Afternoon comes, she says visit. I take a cab. She's not there. Her boyfriend is. She went to her mom's with the baby. He shows me the nursery, pictures of the baby. He keeps talking about how tired he is, and I think he's trying to get me to leave. I leave after 30 minutes. That night, Ashley calls and asks if I'm still at her house. I say no. She seems upset. Day 3. Call in the morning. No answer. I have lunch with some old friends. I'm not far from her house, so I take a cab there. I text from the sidewalk to ask if now is a good time. No answer. A few hours later, Ashley calls and is furious. Says I woke up the baby when I rang. I didn't ring, I stayed on the lawn. Took hours to put the baby to sleep. I'm sorry, but someone else rang the doorbell, it wasn't me. She says I'm being inappropriate hanging around her house. Day 4, Ashley calls. Feeling vulnerable right now and she needs me to respect her boundaries. What I did was inappropriate. I'm sorry, I won't come by her house again without calling. I ask if today is a good day to come by. She's upset, says, isn't sure she can see me around her child. I make plans with some friends. Around 5, Ashley texts and asks what I'm doing. I tell her I'm at a bar, vaxxed. She says, okay, things are better. Day 5, I text Ashley, ask about a visit. She says she wouldn't have asked me to visit if all I was going to do was party without her. I tell her I'm sorry. She says she's hurt because I'm interested in seeing everyone but her. Now I'm confused. I ask if she wants me to visit. She says she's not sure if she's ready yet. She's hurt. I'm supposed to leave on day 7. I'm beside myself. I changed my flight to day 6. Day 6. Leaving in the afternoon. Call one last time. She says she won't be ready today. See about tomorrow. I tell her I won't be here tomorrow. She freaks out. Tells me I'm never happy for her. Obsessive and jealous. Horrible to boyfriend. I wasn't. And that if I couldn't be flexible when visiting a new mom, then our friendship is over. I ask her if I change my flight, again, if we could talk it out. She says maybe tomorrow, can't be sure. Forget it. I just want to go home. That was 2 weeks ago. She's always been sensitive, but this was worse. I don't know what she wanted me to do. Wait in the hotel until she called me? Spend time with boyfriend? She wanted something from me and I didn't do it. Should I have just stayed the last day? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You fly 4 hours and she's not even home for your scheduled visit. She gets mad that you're not sitting around her house waiting for her while she visits her mom. Ignores you when you pop over again. Gets mad that you're spending time with friends even though she clearly doesn't want you around her. Coerces you into changing your flight again. And 99.99999% probably will not let you visit her tomorrow. I get being a new mum is tough, but she sounds insufferable. You were already being more flexible than a gymnast at an orgy. She's the problem. Momzilla. Sorry, but it's true. Sounds like she believes everyone should just be at her beck and call and be understanding, but she clearly forgets OP flew 4 hours at her request, and then she made it impossible for a visit to actually see her and the baby. Next time she can come see you. Being a new mom is hard, and she's making things so much worse, and by creating this drama, she's actually isolating herself unnecessarily. What in the world? You seriously call this person your best friend? Let's start with just the second day of the trip. She says come in the afternoon. You do. She's not there. She asks you later at night, are you still there at my house? Like, seriously? What the heck? I would have said, dude, I came here to see you. Why are you at your mom's ghosting me? And it only got more ridiculous after that. If she is seriously your BFF, you might want to suggest she gets checked for postpartum mood disorders. She definitely sounds like something more might be going on with her. You didn't do anything wrong and tried your best to make visiting work on her schedule. Not the idiot. She owes you a huge apology. I'd give her some space. Let her reach out to you. Do not reach out to her. Remember, she invited you over and then left with her child to her mother's house. and then accused you of some awful stuff, when it sounds like you did everything in your power to try to see your friend and her baby. Good luck. My friend group is made up of 4 girls. We're all 18 females and graduated from high school. I love them all dearly, but one of the girls, Jane, fake name, is not really a close friend. Even though it's a useless hobby and pretty superficial, I love shopping. I love the process of getting new dresses and jewellery, but I'm not addicted to it, it's just a collection. I love fashion. Jane has a huge problem with this. She constantly keeps telling me that minimalism is the way to go and that being materialistic meant I didn't care about the earth. She hates shopping and getting new outfits. I would have been okay with her opinion if she kept it for herself, but she keeps pushing me towards it too. 2 weeks ago, she sent our entire group messages about how buying expensive clothing was unethical when the whole country's economy was terrible. Another friend told her that it was because of major companies and not really because of normal people buying pretty things, and that seemed to shut her up, or so I thought. She then privately texted me about my spending habits, and I felt so horrible afterward because she was going on about world hunger. So when I decided on a graduation gift to give my girls, I decided to exclude Jane from it. I did get her something, but it wasn't the same. I got my other friends a dress and a love bracelet, while Jane got books from the genre she liked and a bottle of perfume. I get a call from her telling me I was trying to kick her out of our group and excluding her for not agreeing with me. I tell her that I didn't think she'd want something expensive since she believes it's selfish to get things like that. I admit that part of the reason I did this was that I felt a tad petty and thought she deserved it. My other friends and boyfriend think I was in the right, but our classmates believe I went too far. They know about this because Jane made a post about it. I think I may have been too petty or cruel and made her feel alone. But I also think she shouldn't have made me feel bad about doing something that made me happy. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She's been going out of her way to harass you over something that's frankly none of her business, and you still did something nice and thoughtful for her. Jane is an awful, mean, manipulative little witch. Does she expect you to donate all of your money not used for necessities to other people? Not spending money because the economy is bad hurts the economy. Not the idiot. Shopping for new and expensive things is so bad unless you're buying those new and expensive things for me. Drop her. She's the selfish one. You can support something without shoving it down someone else's throat like an idiot. She's mad because you listened to her enough that you tried to buy her something that would match her tastes. Or is she angry you bought her something at all? Maybe she would have preferred if you donated the money to a charity in her name. Either way, she sounds too exhausting to be friends with. Not the idiot, OP. She is not your friend. You got her stuff she'd appreciate. I mean, give me books I like over fancy dresses, and it'll show you really know me. I don't know what chip she's carrying, and it's sad she's so weighed down by it. But it's not something you can solve. I'd let go. Sometimes people need time apart from people to grow and heal. Let her go is my advice. If she's a true friend, you'll see her when she's gotten over this mindset of hers.